Okay, remember that they're changing my voice. Really quickly, I know they're trying to make it so I sound gay because there's lunatics who are governing things. Whites, Jews, and LGBT people run Antifa. They run Black Lives Matter. They run MAGA. They run both political parties. They run the libertarians. They run the churches, mosques, synagogues, you name it. And so they changed my voice for their eugenic plan. Everyone look up eugenics, see many videos about it. Maybe I'll make a video about it down the line. I have videos in the past, but they're buried under thousands of videos, and it'll be a nightmare to try to find. But I promised that I would explain to my viewers the connection between Meagan Good and Renee Nicole Good. So first of all, from Renee Good, we can get Negro door, which is pointing to me, the gate, the door. I have a song where I say I'm the gate, or a song that say the gate, the door, heaven's sword. Okay, and I've described myself as the gate for a long time as Christ. Now from Becca Good, we can get BC, like how you see things, right? Your view, your perspective. And I'm sure you've seen occultists talking about people changing their point of view and different perspectives and so on and so forth. So it says BCCA, which is California, where I'm from. And I'm in Michigan, in the Detroit area right now. And the last word is good. You can also get dog O. The O is the reproductive cycle. The disc. Okay, in Egypt you had the sun disc, the wing disc, and the moon disc, what have you. And also to the elf occult. Believe it or not, there's a group of pagans that were active in Europe that were spoken on, including by Martin Luther, who, led the charge against the Catholic Church at one point. Basically, the founder of Protestantism is one way you can kind of think of him as, and so on and so forth. So, yeah. So you might say, well, why are these things connected? Well, these things are connected because it points to me, right? For example, Chuck Liddell, the MMA fighter, right? My name is Chukwuemeka. In college, they used to call me Chuck, I guess, to kind of try to make fun of me. And Chuck, lie, first part of his thing is lie, deal. So they're trying to get me to do something I would never do, which is to lie. And so you see that that's connected there. Now, when this thing first came out, they put it in my head using psychology and technology, what have you, that her name was Meagan Good. And even if I did it on my own, there's a famous celebrity called Meagan Good, and it's the only other Good I can think of in terms of the person with the name Good. Meagan Good, and Becca Good, and Renee Nicole Good. And then when the Philadelphia sheriff came out, she said her name several times. She said, it's Renee Good, Renee Good. Again, Renee Good. And that was after, I saw that after I made the video where I made the first clip, was like 4 minutes or so. And because of my condition, because of their sabotage, I didn't want to make the clip again. So I made the beginning clip of the last video where I started off saying that I had made that minor mistake. Okay, when you look at my videos, there's like no major mistake. There's only these minor mistakes that mean nothing. Unlike the Pope, for example, whose major mistake is not recognizing me. His major mistake is dealing in propaganda and coded language and kind of just same old church failure that we see historically in the Catholic Church, the Protestants, the Orthodox, you name it, the same old failures. Instead of telling the complete truth and martyring himself like a man, like many people are said to have done in popular culture. So there, I've connected these things. I've connected Meagan Good, who is basically a sexually immoral female. Not long ago, I made a video about how females are turned into sex work. Okay, I've been talking about, one of the major things I talk about in my videos is rape by deception. It's how I'm being shunned. The word son is like the word shun. And we see that this comes up again and again, the wordplay. The wordplay is key here. Tamir Rice, what are the odds that his name is Rice? Okay. And we see other names like this. I'll put some in the description in these mass shootings. And we see things like, in Los Angeles, not Los Angeles, San Francisco, the mayor at one point was named London Breed. And Gavin Newsom. And I did a video where there was somebody named like Lynch or something, and another person named Black, and it was like the day after or the same day, and they're in the news covering one of these high-profile incidents. Okay, so that pattern has been established. So in this video, you should be satisfied that I've proven my point that Renee Nicole Good is connected to Meagan Good. And that goes back to the wordplay, men gay, quote, second word. They want me to say that they're good, but you look at Revelation, Genesis 18 and 19, you see that God clearly makes it clear that homosexuality is forbidden. We see that in Leviticus and Romans in Paul's letters. We also see that at the end of the Bible, where when they do not declare homosexuality as something that it isn't, which is allowed, and they say outside the gates of the sexual immoral, that includes homosexuals. And no offense to them, but also part of paganism is homosexuality. That's the word chomo, meaning a child molester, is play on words for see homo. And you also have see ho, magic o, the M, the magic, like Ronald McDonald's, making the M, what have you. It also can be for master, depending on the context, or mason. So we see that, and we see the pederasty in Greco-Roman culture and mythology, Zeus and Ganymede. So it's stupid to think that God allows something that we see is unnatural, right? God made them male and female, what God combined. At no point does God combine two males or two females. And I'm about to make a video where I talk about how, I refer to a video that talks about, I talk about how it's wrong for them to do that in that video. And the video talks about, the subject of the video is to how to go down on damn women in prison. So it's part of that process. As they're turning people out, they're teaching them how to be a prostitute for the various groups in the greater network of the governing class, right? What you might call the New World Order, the Jew World Order, the white Jew and LGBT world order, the worldly order, Novus Ordo Seclorum, right? A secular order that doesn't actually include God. And we see all these churches, mosques, and synagogues, they're not serving God, and even little kids should be able to tell you that. In fact, when I was a teenager, back then when it was a little less obvious, I was saying they weren't really doing a good job. Thank you.